Good morning. This is Rajeshkumar. Today we are going to analyze one problem question with related to accessoryship. The video content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. Kindly go through this slide entirely. Let's start with the problem question. Tahir and Vinny are actors who have fallen in love on set while shooting their latest film. They decide to kill Harris, Vinny's husband, who is hated by all the other actors. Harris' screen role is as a dangerous gangster who is shot dead by Winnie, a police officer, at the end of the first reel. Tahir's and Winnie's plan is for Winnie to shoot Harris with the props gun, having first substituted live ammunition for the blank cartridge the props gun is supposed to carry. The shooting will thus appear to be a tragic accident rather than a deliberate killing. They tell their plans to their fellow actors Zach, Indra, and James. Indra is secretly pleased but say nothing. As Zach, on the other hand, say, "Oh goody, Harris deserves all he gets." James tells Tahir and Winnie where they can buy live ammunition. Winnie and Tahir decide, however, to go to a different ammunition supplier than that suggested by James. They chose Theo's gun shop and asked Theo for a round of ammunition. While Theo is out of the room, he hears Winnie and Tahir discuss the full details of their plan, but nevertheless supplies the ammunition so as not to lose a sale. On the day of the killing, Yon, the props manager, loads the props gun with the live ammunitions, not knowing it has been substituted for the blank cartridges. When rehearsals start, Winnie takes the gun and aims it at Harris. As the script requires and pull the trigger, Harris is shot dead. We have to discuss the possible criminal liability for Tahi, Winnie, Zach, Indra, James, Theo, and Yon. Let's analyze each scenario in detail. The substantial offense in this scenario is murder, defined as the unlawful killing of a human being under the accused peace with malice aforethought, as per R versus Cunningham 1982. Tahir and Winnie planned Harry's death by substituting live ammunition for blanks in a proper gun, in the props gun, intending to make the killing appear accidental. Their actions satisfy the actus reus, the unlawful killing, and mens rea, the intent to kill or cause the grievous bodily harm required for the murder. Both Tahir and Winnie are the principal offenders as they directly devise and execute the plan with Winnie firing the fatal shot and Tahir aiding by procuring the ammunitions. In other words, the principal offense in this case is murder, and Winnie is the principal perpetrator. Under the Section 1 of the Homicide Act 1957, the murder recurs an actus reus of an unlawful killing and the mens rea of intent to kill or cause a grievous bodily harm. Winnie's actions clearly fulfill both the elements. She aimed the gun at Harris and pulled the trigger, causing his death. The use of live ammunition, while intended to appear as an accident, was the direct cause of Harris' death. The fact that Winnie intended to kill Harris is clear, as she and Tahir had planned to murder him. This satisfies the mens rea for murder as established in R versus Cunningham, where the intent to cause a serious harm or death is sufficient for the murder. Tahir is liable as an accessory to the murder. Under Section 8 of the Accessories and Abettors Act 1861, a person is guilty of being an accessory if they assist, encourage, or facilitate the commission of the crime with the intent to help the principal perpetrator commit the crime. Tahir intended to assist Winnie in murdering her husband, Harris. He, as a part of the plan, knew the details of the intended crime and shot to ensure its success. The mens rea for accessoryship require that the defendant intend to aid or encourage the commission of the offense. In R versus Ginacho case, it was established that Tahir's intent to kill Winnie kills Harris, even though he did not physically perform the killing, makes him an accessory to the murder. Zack, on the other hand, also intended to help and encourage the murder, as shown by his comment, "Oh goody, Harris deserve all he gets." This statement indicates his endorsement of the plan and support for the killing of Harris, satisfying the mens rea for accessoryship. In R versus Ginito case, the court held that the verbal encouragement, even without a direct involvement in the physical act, can be sufficient to establish the accessoryship. Zack did not physically assist in the murder, but his approval of the crime and his expression of support made him an accessory. Thus, he can be charged as an accessory to the murder. In other words, Zack expressed approval of planning by saying, "Oh, goody, Harris deserves all he gets." But this does not constitute accessories liability under Section 8 of the Accessories and Abettors Act 1861. In Orr versus Clarkson in 1971, the other hand, the court held that mere presence or the passive approval is insufficient without evidence of active assistance or encouragement. Zack took no actions to aid or abet the crime, so he is not criminally liable. Similarly, Indra's silent approval of the plan does not make her liable as an accessory. The knowledge of crime without active involvement does not establish the liability, as per the case National Coal Board versus the Gamble in 1959. Indra's failure to act or assist means she cannot be held accountable. James' action, while not directly contributing the murder itself, also make him an accessory. James provided information on where to purchase the live ammunition, an essential part of the crime. His involvement in supplying this information was done with the intent that Winnie could use it to commit the murder. While James' action did not directly cause the death, his knowledge of the plan and his facilitation of the means by which the crime would occur make him liable for accessoryship, as affirmed in R versus Calhoun case in 1985, where it was held that a defendant could be liable as an accessory even if they were not directly involved in the causal chain of the offense. In other words, James, however, told Tahir and Winnie where they could buy live ammunitions, which could amount to counseling under the Section 8 of Accessories and Abettors Act 1861. Counseling involves providing advice or the information that facilitate a crime. Nonetheless, since Tahir and Winnie ultimately chose a different supplier, James' advice did not casually contribute to the crime, as established in R versus Bryce 2004 case. The accessory liability requires a direct link between the advice and the commission of the offense. The absence of such a link likely absolves a James of liability. Theo supplied the live ammunition to Winnie and Tahir, knowing full well that they were intending to use it for criminal purpose. Theo's liability as an accessory to the murder is not dependent on his purpose being to cause harm, as per R versus NCB versus Gamble case in 1959. The court held that the accessory does not need to have a purpose to aid the principal crime, but must have the knowledge that their actions will facilitate the commission of the crime. In this case, Theo unknowingly provided the ammunitions, aware that it was part of the plan to kill Harris. His knowledge of the intent to kill makes him liable as an accessory to the murder. In other words, Theo, the ammunition supplier, is liable as an accessory. He knowingly provided the means for the murder, after overhearing the details of the plan. By intending, by intentionally aiding Tahir and Winnie, Theo satisfied the criteria for aiding under the Section 8 of Accessories and Abettors Act 1861. His motive to avoid losing a sale does not negate the liability, as in R versus Bainbridge case in 1960, where the knowledge of the specific crime being committed was sufficient to establish the accessory liability. On the other hand, Yon, the props manager, loaded the gun with live ammunition, but did so without the knowledge that this was part of the deliberate attempt to murder Harris. Under Johnson versus Uden case in 1950, for accessory, the liability, the defendant must know the essential facts of the crime. Since Yan was unaware that the substitution of the ammunition was part of the murder plot, he did not know that his action were facilitating a crime. His action were accidental and without the necessary mens rea. He could not be liable as an accessory. In other words, finally, Yon, the prompt manager, loaded the gun with the substituted live ammunition but lacked knowledge of the murder plan. In R versus Blally and certain case in 1991, the court held that the liability as an accessory requires intent or the knowledge of the principal offense. Yon's innocent actions are performed without awareness of the substitution mean he cannot be held criminally liable. Indra was aware of the plan but did not actively participate or encourage the crime. She did not offer any support, verbal or physical, to Winnie or Tahir. In R versus Claxton case in 1971, it was established that mere knowledge of the crime or simply being present is insufficient to establish the liability as an accessory, since Indra neither assisted nor encouraged the murder and only expressed a silent approval. She cannot be held liable as an accessory. To conclude, Tahir, Zhang, James, and Theo are all likely to be charged as accessories to murder, as they either directly encouraged, facilitated, or provided the necessary resources for the crime. Yon and Indra, however, cannot be held liable as accessories. Yon did not know that his action facilitated the crime, while Indra did not assist or encourage the murder. The criminal liability of various individuals hinges on their mens rea and their level of involvement in the commission of crime. R versus Ginato, R versus NCB versus Gamble, R versus Claxon provides a clear guidance on accessoryship, emphasizing the necessity of both the knowledge of the crime and active encouragement or facilitation of the offense. Thank you.